deal with this issue of Thabo Bester. It was not a secret mission. I've seen in some publication as if we were hiding and they caught us out. It was not a secret mission to go there. We actually took a mobile Home Affairs truck, which is emblazoned with big letters of Home Affairs. And not only Thabo Bester was processed that particular day, now that the truck was at Mampuru prison, even some of the employees there who had green barcoded IDs took an advantage to convert to a smart card, and they were so processed. Even the inmates who are found to be having no IDs, if correctional services give us the number, the list, we will process them. So I want to emphasize our mission to Hoshi Mampuru prison was not a secret mission. It was an open one. You can't have a secret mission when you get in with a very, very highly visible truck. I just wanted to clarify that. Now, Griselda, you are saying the claim is that she was kidnapped, and you want to ask if Home Affairs officials were part of the team. That's precisely why we are challenging this court challenge, Griselda. Because if you remember, if I have to relay the story again, a police, plane left here. Can you give me the hood? A police plane left here. I think it was on the 9th, right? If I'm not mistaken. I hope I don't miss the dates and have to apologize again for missing the date. But I remember the police left on Sunday the 9th, the day before Easter Monday. I think it was the 9th. They left here, and one of our officials working in Home Affairs left with them to Tanzania to help in the identification process. When they were there, having taken fingerprints and meeting Tanzanians and all that, the Tanzanians then said, we have declared these people, Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandimba Magudumana, as illegal immigrants into Tanzania, and that they must be removed within 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. They said they no longer want them in Tanzania, they must be removed. But they further said they will never hand them over to police in South Africa or the army, neither to any of their vehicles, because if they do so, they'll be doing the process called rendition. Yes, they'll be doing a rendition. They said they will only give them over to immigration officials. Now the Home Affairs officials who was there was not representing immigration. And at any rate, even if he was, they made it very clear that they will never use any type of vehicle, including a plane, that belong to police, because internationally that will be regarded as a process of rendition. That is why immediately on that, after hearing those news, we ourselves acquired a chartered flight. And in that chartered flight, we put the head of enforcement under immigration to go with a team of other people to Tanzania. And when they arrived there, the Tanzanians handed over Thabo Bester and Magudumela to the High Commissioner of South Africa in Tanzania. And the High Commissioner handed them over to the immigration officials. This is exactly the same process we carry on in South Africa. That's how we understood it. That's why we understood it. We carry the same process. When somebody is in Lindela for repatriation because they are in South Africa illegally, we call the ambassador of their country. In this case, it's a high commissioner. We call the ambassador or a high commissioner and say, here is a person from your country. And then they process and agree with us. And then we get transport. When we arrive at the border on the other side, we hand them only to immigration officials and to nobody else. We won't hand them to police, we won't hand them to the army. We hand to immigration officials in that country. That's what the Tanzanians demanded, Griselda. And we did exactly that. And they were handed over and they were brought here. Now, for the legal team of Dr. Nandimba to go to court and challenge their bringing here as having been illegal and what did they call it? An abduction. And then in the documents, they don't code Home Affairs. We think there's something sinister about that. They don't code Home Affairs. And at all material times, they knew that Home Affairs was there. And they were handed over to Home Affairs. And at any rate, I've already told you, they lawyers who are taking this case to court did write to the DG of Home Affairs demanding this information, which means they knew. They wrote to the DG and said, give us information. And they actually outlined it about the whole process, how it was done. But because they are lawyers, they are not a state institution, the DG wrote to them and said they must, if they want that type of confidential information, they must apply for it via PAIA. Yes, they must apply for it through PAIA. And he wrote them that letter. And now when they go to court, they leave Home Affairs behind and go for the police, go for NPA, go for the correctional service facility in Bloemfontein, go to everybody else except Home Affairs, which is the department that brought people here. It is on those grounds, Kiselda, that we are challenging this court case. But yes, your question is, was Home Affairs there? Yes, we were there right from the beginning when the police arrived on, after leaving on Sunday, the 9th of April. We were there, but then 2 days later, we dispatched our own chartered flight, now specifically with immigration officials, who are the people who received them from the High Commissioner, and the High Commissioner having received them from the Tanzanians. Any truth that allegations that South Africa entered Tanzania through other means, I'm not sure, Griselda, what you are referring to. Our officials in Home Affairs did not enter through any other means. They entered officially, firstly with a police plane, and secondly with our own chartered flight. And they got out also officially. Khomotso, you are saying, is it a concession from Bester that he is really a Thabo Bester? I'm not sure how to answer the question, because Thabo Bester did not have to concede to anything. We were sure that it is him when we did what we call a late registration of birth. And I want to repeat this, because I did say it in Parliament during my budget speech last week. When we say registration